Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I finally have access to Mercurial Spelldancer from Phyrexia All Will Be One. Right on time, because Patreon subscriber King of the Depths asked me to brew a deck around this card. This one was one of the most exciting ones for Legacy off the spoiler. With the lag time in my recording, it usually takes a week or two for a recorded video to make it live. This card might be old news by the time you're all seeing this. I'm sure every streamer's playing it. I'm sure it's showing up in the weekend challenges and stuff. But here's my take on it, or at least a take on it. Let's read this card for starters. 1 and a blue, can't be blocked. 2/1 creature, Phyrexian Rogue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Mercurial Spelldancer. I will be referring to that exclusively as oiling her up. Whenever Spelldancer deals combat damage to a player, you may remove 2 oil counters from it. If you do, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. My assessment of this card off the spoiler was that it's better than Ledger Shredder, but worse than Dreadhorde Arcanist. And let's figure out where it lands, because that's a pretty big range. Dreadhorde Arcanist is banned, and Ledger Shredder barely sees play. So that's a pretty significant range of playability in between the two. The very easy thing to do with this shell would just be shove this into Delver. That's already a sleek deck full of cheap spells and getting value off of them. It's a deck that can benefit from an unblockable 2/1. Just poking for 2 or 4 damage is sometimes the reach Delver needs to bolt you out at the end. Even if it doesn't trigger more than once, even if it doesn't trigger at all. But in talking with King of the Depths, we want to try a little more spicy here, because the double clause doesn't gate in any way by mana value. Any spell you can put on the stack after removing 2 oil counters will be doubled. So I went for a slightly larger Grixis control kind of shell for this, because that just let me play more fun spells that would be great to double. At the top end, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Notorious Throng. This is the wildest shit that I included in this deck, and it probably shouldn't be here. But if we're doing this anyway, I'm going for it. 3 and a blue, create X 1/1 black fairy rogue creature tokens with flying, where X is the amount of damage dealt to your opponents this turn. If this spell's prowl cost was paid, take an extra turn after this one. And the prowl is 5 and a blue. 6 is expensive by Legacy standards, no doubt about it. And you can only pay that cost if your opponent was dealt combat damage by a rogue this turn. This card's kind of disappointing. I remembered that there was a Time Walk Prowl card. I didn't remember exactly all of the text on it, and most Prowl costs are cheaper than their normal mana value. This one costs more, but you get more. Normally, the spell does the same thing, but it costs cheaper. Or it does more and costs cheaper. Kind of a bummer how careful they were with Time Walks. But it's all good. I'm still including this card. And looking at Notorious Throng got me excited about a potential other brew of Mercurial Spelldancer. Just core Dimir, just blue-black, and play Noggin Whack, Morsel Theft. Just really lean in on the Prowl stuff with your unblockable rogue. And doubling those spells is pretty messed up. We might see that on the channel in the near future. I was very excited about it, but I wanted to be slightly more normal, so there's just the one Prowl card in here. To support Mercurial Spelldancer, we also have another unblockable rogue in Dothy Voidwalker that's also just a playable Legacy card on its own, and another rogue with evasion in Brazen Borrower, which is also a playable Legacy card on its own. The only creature in the deck that's not a rogue is Tourach Dreadcantor, who is a human cleric. I guess technically Fury. That's sometimes a creature. But most of the creatures that we'll be doing attacking and blocking are rogues. Notorious Throng will either be a pitch to Force of Will, or a discard to Collective Brutality, or just the Stone Nuts. Side quest is to resolve this card. Side quest for maximum value is to double this card. Snuff Out is a card that's being played in Legacy all over the place now because of its efficiency against the initiative. All those creatures are going to deal 4 to you anyway. You might as well just get them off the board for free. When you double a spell in Magic, the costs are already paid, so you can pay 4 life once and then double it to kill 2 creatures. That's a cool synergy with Snuff Out. Same thing with Collective Brutality. Escalate is an additional cost. If you escalate a Collective Brutality, then copy it, you get all of the modes again. That's why this is in here, just trying that out. Archmage's Charm is a one of. Just pay 3, draw 4 cards, or steal 2 creatures. Unlikely you're going to counter 2 spells with this, but I guess it's technically possible. Important thing to note about Brutality and Archmage's Charm: when you copy a spell, you can choose new targets, but you can't choose new modes. So the chosen modes of modal spells like Brutality and Archmage's Charm will just get copied. I can't steal 1 creature and draw 2 cards if I copy Archmage's Charm. It's just draw 4 or steal 2 things. Sudden Edict kills 2 things. Hymn to Tourach is the reason I wanted to be black with this card. Just discard 4 at random, get him. And of course, Expressive Iteration. This card's insane when you cast 1 of them, so copying it, you just go crazy. You could even double Petty Theft. You won't get a token copy of Brazen Borrower on an adventure. That's not how that works, but you can bounce 2 things as well. And then naturally, there's just the normal 2 Ponders, 2 Brainstorms kind of stuff. A lot of fun spells in here. I think we're going to have fun doubling them. Mishra's Bauble is in the deck because Mercurial Spelldancer, while it only copies instants and sorceries, oils up on any non-creature spell. Bauble is a high-velocity spell. It lets you EI a little more aggressively, and that's where I wanted to be in this build of the deck. And that's pretty much it. You could find a leaner shell. You could find even just a more optimized version of this deck. And obviously, Notorious Throng is insane. But I want to have some fun and see what Mercurial Spelldancer, what the limits are on this thing. We all know about doubling EI and Ponder. I want to see what doubling Notorious Throng and Archmage's Charm feels like. If that's a hidden gear for this card. And it's tucked into what I otherwise believe is a pretty reasonable looking Legacy deck. So let's go do this. This is King of the Depths, Spelldancer Grixis. I'm on the play in round 1. No Spelldancer in this hand, but I get to beat up my opponent's hand pretty good with Thoughtseize into Brutality. And if I don't need a Brutality, I can Ponder and Brainstorm looking for a threat. Opponent kept 7. Let's see what they're up to. Okie dokie. We've got some spice over here. Malevolent Hermit, Emery, Ledger Shredder. If I take this Chrome Mox, this hand becomes pretty weird. So if they ever get Emery off the ground, they just get the Chrome Mox back, but that's not free. I will take the Chrome Mox. And I can kill 2 of these 3 creatures, including the Emery, with Brutality, which is how I like to kill everything, as brutally as possible. I'm gonna just Brainstorm here. Oh yeah, okay, I don't think I need Tourach in this matchup, especially if I'm missing land drops. Archmage's Charm versus Urza Saga. Hook that Modern directly to my veins. And I'm gonna ship Force of Will here. I see this Malevolent Hermit. I don't know if that's gonna get me where I want to go. And now I have a tough call. I can fetch Volcanic Island and hope that Ponder plus Draw Step delivers the Black Source for Voidwalker, but I'm set up for EI. Or I can just get the Black Source now and find red later. I think I want to lock in my profits with black right now. Kind of glad I did that. Throng is awkward. I have no card draw coming. Hymn to Tourach. I mean, Force of Will. I just got rid of one of those. I'm going to shuffle this. Ooh, Spelldancer, what's up? Also important to note, unless they deploy the Ottawara, they don't have blue mana. Yeah. Ledger Shredder is here. Boo, boo, that was such a good draw. Discard the Hermit, get that into the graveyard for freezies. Hymn to Tourach. Well, that's a card I drew. Now I can make tough decisions. Do I want to get Spelldancer into play, start oiling her up? I could just slam Hymn to Tourach on these 4 cards right now. They care about their graveyard. Yeah, there's literally Emry in their hand. I'm going to get Voidwalker down. Missing this land drop sucks, though. I am slightly lower on lands than a mid-range Grixis deck normally would be. I was counting on Mishra's Bauble to really help smooth all that out. May or may not actually work out that way in practice. Also Void on 1. Get the heck out of here. Luckily, that affects 0 of the cards in my hand. Unluckily, they are going off pretty hard with this Ledger Shredder. They are going to start putting cards into the Void, though, including this Lion's Eye Diamond. Can play Emry here if they want that. Here's Emry, which mills 4 cards into the Void. Ponder that I can't cast. I could just Brutality Emry and check their hand for spells. What spell am I worried about out of a deck that looks like this? I think I just want to start oiling. Let's get that in here, and then healing both constructs with Archmage Charm could be in my future. I can also just make a land drop off of Thothy Voidwalker if I'm ready to cash that in. There is an island in exile over there. Ancient Tomb, okay. Also just 5 power of unblockable here is not nothing versus this deck with Ancient Tomb in its mana base. Benevolent Geist. Alright, cards can't be countered, or non-creature spells can't be countered. Mox. You just put that into play, might as well. It triggers Shredder and makes your constructs bigger. Guarded Spire of Industry. I don't expect to see an exile on this. Correct. This would be a big turn to draw a land. Ugh. Yeah, missing land number 3 on it's turn 5, and I've pondered and brainstormed is a tough beat. Okay, so construct plus construct is lethal. I can kill Benevolent Geist and Emry, or no, I can't double yet, settle down. I can kill Benevolent Geist and gain 2 life by discarding him to Tourach. I think I need to do that. Target creature gets -2, and or target opponent loses to life, you gain 2. Cast this, target Geist and my opponent. Discard him to Tourach. I don't think I need that anymore. Oil up the Spelldancer. Okay. Am I dead? Is my question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm not dead. I could make my land drop off Voidwalker, cast Ponder, and get set up for next turn. I think I have to do this. Voidwalker, make my land drop, just play Island. I'll play this Island, oil up my Spelldancer. It gets countered, and they get to connive. But it was required if I'm going to survive this Urza Saga. Now their graveyard's online. I do have Force of Will available. Okay, they did plus, so 4, 5. I'm at 1. Yikes. Okay, I think I was a little slow to get started here, and I'm not going to win as a result. But I'm going to try. I'm not going to take the oil counters off with this because I have no more spells this turn. Right, if there's a Shadow Spear in their deck, I'm actually just dead. That's the +1 that they need. And if they just draw any artifact or play the Bauble from their graveyard, yeah, I'm in a bad spot. If they play Bauble, then they're not attacking with Emry. No! Alright, fine, 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 I quit. Yeah, I missed some land drops on important turns there. Meltdowns come in. Kudetsugu Consumes All comes in. Tourach comes out. Null Rod comes in. Rest Down comes in. I am pretty hateful against this sort of thing. I think Sudden Edict can probably come out. Collective Brutality can come out. Him to Tourach. I'm loading up on so many insane spells here that him to Tourach and these 1-for-1s, even these 2-for-1s, aren't really that impressive. Fine, I'll cut the Throng. Though I'm mad about it. Yeah, the rest of these cards are all actually good. Brazen Borrower versus the Chalice of the Void deck. They're also a blue deck. Pyroblast are potentially live. Pyroblast better than Lightning Bolt, probably. Most things that I could target with Lightning Bolt, I can also target with Pyroblast in this matchup, and it might do one better. I need one more cut if this is the game I'm doing. I like Snuff Out a lot. Not cutting that one. Yeah, maybe it's just Fury. Okay, let's go. I've just boarded in a bunch of other sweepers. Oh god. A 1-lander, and it's not even a land that casts Ponder, but it does have Meltdown and Thoughtseize. Let's go. Yeah, Meltdown Thoughtseize Pyroblast. That's a lot of interaction on 1 mana. And the next blue source gets me Brainstorm. The next black source gets me Voidwalker. Go. Lion's Eye Diamond, 2 Echoes, a Hull Breacher. Yeah, this was a hell of a hand that they had. I could take Breacher and let them Echo. I could take LED and leave them nothing. Except a YOLO Echo, which I'm going to take the LED, actually. There's the Ancient Tomb. And they're passing the turn. Come on, land. No land. Snuff Out beats Hull Breacher, though. Okay, I guess we're just passing. Give me something to Echo. Rip LED. Okay. There's a Coliseum. There's Opal. 1 card in their hand I don't know right now. Land. Had it. I'm just going to pass now. I know this Hull Breacher's in the mix. I will let them cast this. I can snuff it out whenever. I would like them to commit to an Echo, and then I kill Hull Breacher and counter Echo. Okay, I'm just going to kill Hull Breacher then. They're going to go to combat first, like a smart person. Try to figure out what I'm doing. Metallic Rebuke. Interesting. Okay. I can counter the Rebuke. I could just kill Hull Breacher another way. Their hand is 2 Echo of Eons. I could let them commit Echo, but then they'll have 2 in the graveyard. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I'm just going to kill Hull Breacher, and I'm going to do it now. Wait, I took their LED. They can't Echo. What am I even saying? I don't know where I am right now. What day is it? You know, it's super cool. Thothy Voidwalker versus this deck with 2 Echo of Eons in their hand and a Threshold spell in play, or Threshold effect in play. I'll start with that. This Opal's not on. Their hand was 2 Echoes when they started the turn that they're only halfway to casting. Now LED's not even a live rip. Bobbling me in my upkeep. I saw a bobble of my own. I also play that card. Surprise. Bobble you. Drawing Emery. Okay. Gonna EI. Force of Will to my hand. Ponder to the bottom. Exile Bobble. There's Bobble cashing in that low curve I have, even though I continue to miss land drops. They've shown me Hull Breacher, so I'm actually just gonna Bobble again now, even though I don't get any additional information. There's 1 card in their hand I don't know right now, and if it's Hull Breacher, I guess I have the Force anyway. But they get 2 draws on their turn. I don't want one of them to be a card that punishes me. They found my land number 3. Force of Will rolled up. I don't care about Emery. Ledger Shredderino. That one they can have. Ottawa can play Emery, which gives them a Connive, and then also mills 4 and throws a ton of stuff into the void. Right now I can Echo. Give me a Hull Breacher too. Just let me do the whole thing. Plague Engineer and Curse of Fool's Wisdom. Interesting. Whenever an enchanted player draws a card, they lose 2 life, you gain 2 life. Okay. Maybe I'll cast that one on my turn. There's still 1 Echo in their hand that I know about. Do I want Curse of Fool's Wisdom? I probably do. Yeah, easily. Opponent's at 10 already. Now they can't wheel. Bouncing this is pretty reasonable. They can play LED from their graveyard, which echoes, but then they die. I'm going to start with a Brainstorm. And Connive is not optional. Take 2. I discarded that Echo I knew about. All right, I found Pyroblast, which is the card I was looking for. There's a Dress Down in here as well. I'm going to hide Meltdown, hide Spelldancer. And I can Pyroblast and Force of Will. And I just got to be alive long enough to let this curse win the game for me. Opponent's at 6. And anytime I double spell with Ledger Shredder in play, they lose 2 life. I could cast 2 spells right now, actually. Lion's Eye Diamond coming from the graveyard. If they cast another spell, they have to connive. Ledger Shredder is not winning this race. And I'll just go to my turn. I think I want to play Spelldancer. I can dance some spells here. Pyroblast Emery, which forces a connive and also oils up my lady. You lose 2. I got some oil. And I'll pass the turn. So they are dead on board to my unblockable 2-power creature. Something like Ottawara, which they already have 1 in play. Another one could bounce their own curse. Alright, that was sweet. Spelldancer yet to do anything, but I have successfully gone off with Voidwalker. I'm currently just weighing if I want to cut any number of baubles because I have Null Rod in and because they're a Ledger Shredder deck. I would bring Lightning Bolt in instead. Sudden Edict is solid too. Though, yeah, now we've seen Hull Breacher, which also makes Bauble worse. I have said many words about how Fisher's Bauble is kind of part of my mana base in this deck, and we've had mana problems in 2 out of 2 games so far. I think that just not getting Hull Breached is very important. Flusterstorm does hit Echo in the early game. And they showed me Metallic Rebuke. I'm not gonna Flusterstorm here. I have Pyroblasts and Forces. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. If they turn 0 Echo, it's whatever. We both have new hands, but snapping off the Pyroblast keep. There's LED. Oh god, there's 2. Emery. Build over at Chalice. Mox Opal. And a Bauble. A lot of good stuff. I am going to immediately delete Emery. I think I want Badlands to do this off of, because Voidwalker's been so good. So I'm not currently holding any black cards. I'm holding a lot of blue cards. I'll just kill Emery. Emery represents Chalice of the Void, which means I can't Pyroblast after this point anyway. If I just got baited into Ancient Tomb, Hull Breacher, Wheel, then I'm dead. Either Spellbomb is the play, and passing the turn, wow, okay. They're either respecting Force or they just have nothing. And I'm happy with either of those arrangements. I was just going to slam Spelldancer, but they have this Spellbomb. But do I care? And I'll make you do it. Probably should have Brainstorm then Pondered when they can't Hull Breach me. But we got a YOLO Brainstorm or Breakthrough from the opponent. They're either they wouldn't use this as a discard outlet because they have 2 LEDs. They're trying to find Echo and then resolve it. Well, they did find one. A Benevolent Geist. Okay, Benevolent Geist out of the graveyard means that their Echo is going to resolve, so safe passage from here. Okay, off we go. I drew a Pyroblast and a Force. If I get an untap step, I'm in pretty good shape. So with the Geist around, I'm in danger. Gotta hope for a little bit of a whiff here. They zapped in Seagate. That means they're not done. Or it means they're respecting Spelldancer. To be determined. I've been bobbled. And looks like I'm getting a turn. Oh, alright. Emery in the second main. And now I'm getting a turn. Okay. Well, this is cool. I can oil up pre-combat. And then Pyroblast both of these things. I'll start with a Brainstorm. Thoughtseize, Force of Will, put back Underground Sea in one of these lands. And then Mishra's Bauble, or I can Thoughtseize too. I'm gonna get Badlands and cast Thoughtseize here. I just clicked on Underground Sea automatically. That's alright. It still casts the spell. Curse of Fool's Wisdom. Oh, Jesus. Discard again. And Echo. Echo from hand. Well, I don't want to put that in the graveyard for them. This card does have Madness, but they don't have 4 mana. Get rid of it. And Madness triggers, but they can't actually do it. Mishra's Bauble. Get some more oil on my lady. Bauble you. Fire of Industry is going to be your draw. And I get to attack unblockably. Alright, we're finally going to get to do Spelldancer stuff. Yes, I would like to remove some oil. And I would like to Pyroblast all of your stuff. Which also, conveniently, puts another oil counter onto Spelldancer. So they inconveniently have Aether Spellbomb still in play. But that was a good turn, no matter how you measure it. I drew Lightning Bolt, they drew a card. I have Force of Will still up. Saga was a good draw. Benevolent Geist from the graveyard. Didn't even realize that was there. Good thing I'm paying attention. But that does give me another turn of dancing with spells. Let's draw a heater. Not a heater. Not even good, actually. And I will Lightning Bolt their Geist and them. Yes, please. Lightning Bolt targeting Benevolent Geist. Get more oil, and I get to double. Send that one to the dome. And off we go. I considered building a Mystic Sanctuary into this deck, but I thought with my low land count it would be risky. And the first 2 games, that card would have been terrible. This game, it would be great. Paying attention to that as we go. Brazen Borrower can help stabilize against the constructs if I need that. They can't sit on the Spellbomb forever, and they currently have 0 other artifacts. Emery resolves. By going for Emery instead of constructs, they are trying to combo here, is what they're telling me. If I Petty Theft Emery, that lets them redeploy it. They can tutor LED with Saga. I am going to Petty Theft Emery, which oils up my lady again. Also generates a threat. How about a fun spell? Did I not shuffle when I brainstormed last? I feel like I drew all the same cards that I put away with brainstorm. Anyway, here's an attack for 2. Probably finally time to bounce this thing. Go. Here we go. I'm going to replay it. I give up on hard casting Force, but I can still play Brazen Borrower and pitch cast Force. It's not a huge deal. They can hard cast Echo this turn if they want to. They have this Ancient Tomb in hand and 4 mana in play. So good chance they tutor up a Lion's Eye Diamond and try to jam here. I'm going to fetch now just in case they go for Needle. LED it is. Are they going to YOLO slam into my Force? Ancient Tomb's in play now. Emery's on the stack. Build a bunch of things that I don't care about. And they have made a move on Echo, which I will force. Which oils up the Spelldancer. End step, I'm dropping Brazen Borrower, which puts them to 3, because they cannot block it. About a meltdown. Just something busted here would be great. If they're bobbling me, what do they see? They know whatever my busted draw is. Come on now. Okay. In 4 or 5. That cannot be blocked. They could actually stabilize here. They have the either Spellbomb in the graveyard. Or no, my 3 power creature has Flash. So, and it's also a spell on the way back down. They're in a bit of a tough spot, and they can't tap Ancient Tomb, or they're dead to both my creatures, or either of my creatures. They're currently dead to both my creatures. There's no Echoes in the graveyard. They just drew 2 cards at random off the top, one from Bobble, one from Draw Step. Construct's just a 1/1 at the moment. It can become 2/2 thanks to Emery. Yeah, this one has gotten tight. I was miles ahead and just kind of flooded out, and now it's close. I'm still ahead. If their hand is blank, I am winning this game. If it's not, trouble. In for 2. Pass the turn. Mishra's Bauble. Okay, this threatens a Spelldancer oiling. With my attack, they have to bounce Brazen Borrower, and when they go to 1, they can't Ancient Tomb. So, oh my god. That was awesome. I get to deal 2 to them, remove the oil, bounce both of their permanents, and then I'm at no risk of being all breached right now. Just bounce both your permanents with Petty Theft. And I think I'd rather bobble myself for selection right now. Another Brazen Borrower on top. I'll take that. And I'll play my land. That gives me 5 to Brazen Borrow from hand and Brazen Borrow from exile. When it's at 1, they can redeploy Emery. If they drew LED and mill and Echo, we could go for a spin here. End step, I'll Brazen Borrow. And we did it. Oh my god. That got super tight at the end. I played the first 2 games on 2 lands and then just aggressively flooded out in game 3. So we have no data if this is a good mana base or not yet. We're just wildly disparate. So hopefully we'll settle into the pocket on that. Sick match though. On to the next one. If you've ever wanted to learn how to play poker, there's no better way than pokercoaching.com's Master the Fundamentals course, which I'm excited to give all of you for free. This course is separated into 19 short sections that will make sure you understand everything you need to know to play well and beat your friends. The first section is on the rules of the game, then you'll learn about hand ranges, equity, basic strategies, and a whole lot more. By the end of the course, you'll know everything you need to know in order to give you the best chance of success at No Limit Hold'em. check out the link in the video description to pokercoaching.com/free crash course. On the play in round 2 against a Yorion, I'm gonna keep Island Ponder, am I right? I don't think I'll need this Flusterstorm versus a Yorion deck, and I'm not excited about the Force really either, but the Snuff Out's gonna be good. I am interested in finding a couple more lands. If this is Yorion taxes, we're gonna have Wastelands, even if it's Yorion Zenith, like Blue Zenith. You're gonna have Wastelands too. This is a good spread. Okay, yeah, I will just keep all these cards. The only Yorion deck that doesn't have Wasteland is Cephalid Breakfast, which has mostly coalesced into a 60 card deck these days. All right, looks like Death and Taxes is the name of the game. And I have him to Tourach for next turn and an actual Tourach on top of my deck. Actual Tourach is pretty good against the mono white deck. There's Thalia, that's fine. I can make my land drop, pay 1 for Snuff Out, and then cast him to Tourach next turn. Underground Sea, Snuff Out on the Thalia, tapping the red. I'm going to fetch Badlands here to just not be taken off a color by a single Wasteland. Him to Tourach you. Flicker Wisp and Iganjo hit the graveyard. The bad news is I'm kind of out of gas here. If I draw a land and can kick Tourach right away, we're in business. All right, no longer in business. Mother of Runes and Rishadan Port. I guess I'm just going to Sudden Edict after they port me. I think leaving up blue in case I draw a cantrip is better than leaving up red in case I draw a bolt. Ponder? Underground Sea, cool. Now if I draw a land next turn, I can kick Tourach. And if they decide they need to cast a spell and not port me, oh great, they just have multiple ports. Uh-oh, now I need to draw the land. This Aldra is imminent. Okay, I need to draw a land. Oh my god, they didn't port me. Oh. I drew an out to Stoneforge anyway, but this one's way the shit better. Ka-chow. Aldra and whatever that other card is are gone. I have a 4/3 with protection from your deck. Let's play Magic. Ephemerate Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, that's cool. Now they discard 2. Oh, okay. Oh, that makes Tourach smaller. And they can tutor for a different equipment next turn. They still lose Aldra. Oh, that was a cool trick. That's why they didn't port me as well. They were actually holding up a thing. All right, what do we got here? E-Skull, which they are 1 mana away from just casting. All right, now they're in there. Now they're just casting it. Yeah, just not even giving me the chance to do anything. Good call. Okay, can I answer Batterskull? Doesn't look like it. I'm just going to lose to this Ephemerate trick. That was awesome. I'm not going to bolt now. Don't think I need to. But considering how good my hand was, they are extremely far ahead in this game. They'll probably put Yorion in hand and then port me. Or it's just going to happen. And then, come on, something. That's not it. Sucks. And now we're in the spots where Mercurial Spelldancer is a really bad top deck because I don't really have anything going on. And I'm basically dead to this Yorion. I'll bolt Stoneforge Mystic in response to the Yorion trigger. I don't want more of that happening. Just a big bird. Mother of Runes. All right. I don't even know what my draw is here. It has to be like EI into multiple action spells. I'll start with a Brainstorm though. Brainstorm found Bauble and him to Tourach. That's not it. So I gotta fetch and bauble them. But if I bauble them, Mother of Runes is unlocked. Yeah, we're just dead. That Ephemerate won them the game. That was really cool. Okay, Fury comes in, Consume comes in, another Tourach, Brazen Borrower, probably Dress Down. Cards that are less good. Select Brutality is just an ugly removal spell. Bauble is kind of risky versus Thalia decks, but it is part of both my mana base and my engine with Spelldancer. Void Walker's not great here. And it's fine, but it's not great. I'm bringing in Fury and Tourach in the Voidwalker slots. I'm not going down threats, just going down curve, or going up curve. Force of Will, I don't want all 4 in there, but I do want some. Oh, Flusterstorm mostly sucks, though we did just lose to an Ephemerate. Can't completely rule that out. Select Brutality, -2/-2 on a creature, even if the other modes don't come up, versus attacking with Voidwalker. I want my Brutality back, and then saving those cards for those cards. Do I want Meltdown? I didn't see Saga, and they have Rashad Port, which makes me think they don't have Saga. Yeah, I'm not going to Meltdown, and I'm not going to Null Rod either. Okay, let's go. Okay, Thoughtseize and Bauble, I'll keep. I'm going to Bauble before I Thoughtseize. That tells me everything. Like, gives me fully perfect information after the Thoughtseize. I know everything they have and what they're going to draw next turn. Okay, I know about the Ephemerate now. Seen it with our eyes. And I'm going to Underground Sea, Thoughtseize. Hand's not great against Wasteland, but what hand is? They don't have Wasteland. They do have a Field of Ruin. There are 0 basics in my deck. Mother of Ruin, Stoneforge Mystic. We have to take Mother, or else none of my removal even works. Alright, Mother's gone. And I pass the turn and draw. I have Force of Will ready for the Ephemerate, at least. I can dress down the Stoneforge on arrival. That's a good one. Let's see if they go for Stoneforge, or if they spend a turn porting me and then Stoneforge with Ephemerate up. I hope they just go for it. Disappointed. I'll just brainstorm with whatever land they port. It's not pretty, but if I hit land number 3, we're just doing okay here. Of course we didn't. Why would I ever hit a land drop? I'll put back both EIs, draw, and then I'll ponder. I have to find a land here. All right, and there's the other 2 EIs. Okay. I'm going to have to Force of Will the Stoneforge now. They might just Field of Ruin me and still cast Stoneforge. No, there'll be a mana short on all that, but not a single basic in the deck. Thalia, come on. Thought we were playing nice here. I'm going to force Thalia. Force pitching a Brainstorm. Okay, this lets me EI. Do I want the second EI in my hand, or do I want to look at 4 fresh cards this turn? I think I want 4 fresh ones. As much as EI, finding EI makes me happy. I don't think we're there. Okay, blue, red. 3 looks. Alright, got there on lands. I'm going to put Bloodstained Mire and Hand Brainstorm on the bottom, exile, Scalding Tarn. My hand does so much, I just need to not miss land drops, and Field of Ruin is a full strip mine against me. So just lock up the next one. Every card in my hand draws at least 1 card. They're just doing nothing here. Nope. Okay. Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to dress this down. I'm going to keep fetching black sources now. I have 2 reds. And black gets me Kick Tourach. Fury. I like that one. They can Ephemerate in the end step while the coast is clear. Do it. Okay. Porting me now, that's fine. Wowee. Okay. Good thing I fetched that extra black source. Tourach, Con Queso. Bang. It's Solitude and Plains. Ephemerate and Plow still in the hand. I can dress down to remove the abilities of Kaldra. I can steal the Germ token, and then if they don't have 7 mana, they can't re-equip Kaldra to something else. They're not playing at sorcery speed, which makes me happy. So if I dress down an Ephemerated Stoneforge, they can Plow. I Tourach. Field of Ruin. That was smart. That means they get to find out that I have no additional basics. I consider building the deck with 1 basic. If I had 19 lands, it would be 1 basic island, but I don't. I'm just going to draw 2 cards right now. They can port me off a color here, but I think just keeping the card advantage flow going. Ooh, Sudden Edict. They didn't port me because they're planning on ephemerating. If they port me, I Edict. If they ephemerate, I Edict. Either way, we're driving. All right, they are, in fact, porting me. Zap. Okay. The next Wasteland does take me off red. Their hand is Ephemerate Plow, which are no longer blanks, which are quite potent, which is definitely what I was going to say the first time. Got Batterskull, saving the Fury for the good one, or saving the Cauldron for the Ephemerate second time around. Hello. Spelldancer and Thoughtseize. So they can plow Spelldancer or Ephemerate their Stoneforge. Snapping off the plow, that's a deal. There's a Solitude in there. I don't care about that. I can also beat Ephemerate. I'm going to take the Batterskull. That makes Tourach larger. The bash for a turn. I'm holding out hope of Hardcast Fury someday, which is why I haven't just picked off the Stoneforge yet. I don't need to 2-for-1 myself now. I am ahead on damage. I can answer the threats that they've presented. 2 ports, okay. I can cast Solitude now and try to poke back and forth. I'd be taking 4 a turn, they'd be taking 1 a turn. They actually are winning a Solitude race. And they have enough mana to tap 2 of my lands and still Ephemerate. I'm gonna float red. Make them think about it. And we are in my main phase now. They didn't tap a different land in my draw step. It doesn't matter. A reasonable call. So the hand is just Ephemerate and Solitude. If I dress down in response to Ephemerate, then it doesn't matter if Tourach has pro-white. Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh, they're doing... Okay, I get it. That's cool. Activate Stoneforge, flicker it. Then you get Cauldron, put it in. Dress down is saving my bacon right now. Super cool trick. So they get a Stoneforge Mystic, and then they can put an equipment in, but they only have Solitude in their hand. So instead they take 5. They can do the same trick in the next upkeep. Deactivate, then... Or no, they can't. Yeah, because Rebound triggers first. I think I'd rather Ponder than hold up Force of Will for this Ephemerate. So I get to do both. Cool. And I found an answer to Cauldron. Okay. I will put Force of Will in my hand with Brazen Borrower under it. And I can just deploy 3/3 Double Strike right now. Pitchcast Fury. It doesn't kill anything, but it also doesn't die under Dress Down. And then I have Force of Will backing up everything with Brazen Borrower on top of my deck. Yeah, I'm just going to push for the win here. I'm going to let them have Cauldron. I'll Brazen Borrow it, and then force the Solitude if they try to make a move on that. And then I just have this giant board presence. Oh, wait, you actually can't, because Ephemerate... Yeah, this trick doesn't work now. Right, because Ephemerate, you don't actually have control over when you cast it here. If you activate Stoneforge in response to the trigger, it just resolves. If you Ephemerate first, the Stoneforge activation will happen above it on the stack. Yeah, this is actually not a combo. They do get to tutor for a thing, but that's all they get to do. They got Cauldron. Drawing Brazen Borrower, I have Force backup. Attack should end the game. If they don't port me, it means they're planning to Solitude me, which I'm not having. I'm going to Force of Will, Solitude, and I'm going to bounce Brazen Borrower. Or bounce Stoneforge with Brazen Borrower. This might turn on a second Solitude if that was their draw, but it more likely just kills them. Cool. That way they can't chump block. Alright, that was fun. Do I want to change anything else? Yeah, I wish Dothy Voidwalker was better here in this matchup, but they really don't use their graveyard. Okay, same deck. Okay, changing my mind. I'm going down to 2 Force of Will and bringing in the Null Rod. Null Rod just stopping any re-equip tricks, shutting off Aether Vial. Shuts off my baubles too. Null Rod steps on this deck a little more than normal decks I play, but I'm in. Well, I'm not keeping this No-Lander, as nice as Spelldancer is. Well, again, Island Ponder. I'm keeping this and putting Archmage Charm to the bottom. Island Ponder versus the dedicated land destruction deck. Always had it. I'm gonna Ponder. It's not getting better. Underground Sea, cast Ponder. Okay, cool. I will put the Underground Sea on the bottom, Force of Will on the top, draw the Bauble, which means I bauble them, and then I draw the underground, or I draw the Force of Will. They have Cauldron in their hand. That's good to know. The surprise Stoneforge Mystic is the worst. Like when they tutor up sort of Fire and Ice, then ambush you with Cauldron combat. Oh, like so. I'm just gonna Lightning Bolt this thing. Yeah, the tutor up Jitte. It's just a Jitte, don't worry. Cauldron. Lightning Bolt right now before Ephemerate is a thing. They waste me off red. That's kind of annoying because EI is great here. Recruiter of the Guard. Do I want to let the party start? I think this Force of Will is worth doing. It keeps a creature out of play that can't hold the Jitte. It lets me Expressive Iteration this turn. If I start pulling ahead on an empty board, that's great. Put Snuff out in my hand and make my land drop. Representing Tourach next turn with a free removal spell in between. Another Recruiter, okay. Now I'm more ready for it. I have a removal spell. I can poke their hand with the Tourach. See if they'll stick to the Stoneforge Mystic plan here. Thalia, okay. And it appears they don't have a land drop at all, much less a wasteland. Love to see it. Oh my god. I can actual Tourach this turn, then him to Tourach next turn. I'll get Volcanic Island. Just cover my red bases. I only need 3 black right now, and after that, 2 black works in case they rip a destruction spell. Tourach hit Cauldron and Council's Judgment. Okay. That is the card I was scared of, and the answer to my banger here are gone. They ripped the Wasteland. Luckily, like I said, I got off the card I needed to. Mazawa's Jitte, that's fine. I'll just block. Thalia, deal. Okay, Thalia and Jitte are in play. I'm about to end their career, as the kids say. If I snuff out first, then I can also brainstorm this turn. I'm going to snuff Thalia, and him to Tourach, see what was left in that hand, and make Tourach Bucknormous. Force the Plowshare's Path to Exile. Yep. Tourach is 6/5. I am going to brainstorm now. I still have a land drop, and okay, cool. I'll hang out with Force of Will and another card in my hand. I have to just decide which one it is. Okay, brainstorm to the second down, Sudden Edict above it. I don't want to let this Jitte connect, not even once, so I'll just put Tourach in front of this thing. Caracas is the only card they can draw, I think. They have Force of Will for even like Council's Judgment. Stoneforge Mystic. Do I care about this? Are there any weapons even left? And I guess my plan here was to force anything that came out of this. And then I Edict the Recruiter. And then I brainstorm and just start bashing while they're hellbent. Cool. I get to attack. This Edict's not getting better. There's nothing tricky to do. They have already equipped the Jitte. And I am just F6ing my way through the game now, hoping to fade Caracas for 3 more turns. Thalia does pick up the weapon just fine. Makes Brainstorm slower. I'm still going to do it. How about a Lightning Bolt deck? Okay, that's not Lightning Bolt, but these cards are good. I'm going to ponder, see if I can hit a land drop here. I cannot hit a land drop here. What do I want to do with all this? I'll put the EI in my hand. And I'll leave Tourach between me and Thalia. If they're gaining 4 life a turn, we're both taking 2. And I'm behind on that exchange. If I can keep my life total high and just keep Tourach between me and what my opponent's doing. Yorion in hand. So Ponder's going into my hand right now. Or Archmage's Charm. And then there's a Ponder on top. If there's an island anywhere underneath, or a land anywhere underneath, I get to Ponder. I'm going to leave Volcanic Island up because Lightning Bolt's one of my best hits now. Okay. I put the Fury in my hand and invest in the future. My next land drop is good. Right, Fury in hand, Ponder on the bottom, exile Bauble. I got 2 cards off EI, which is mostly what I was going for. Bauble you. Force of Plowshares on top. Okay. That's not the land for Yorion. They haven't wasted me because they want to cast this Yorion someday and they're missing land drops. Alright, there's my land drop. If they suddenly decide to waste me, then that slows down the Fury. Otherwise, I'm just lighting them up here. Ooh, Thoughtseize, interesting. By Thoughtseize, it removes Yorion from the equation entirely, which is an enormous creature otherwise, and they can just plow on curve here. But do I care, is the question. I mean, Thoughtseize also grows Tourach. I think I do. Do I want to Thoughtseize? Oh, this is so tricky. No, I'm going to Fury while the getting's good. Fury. I'll deal 4 damage to Thalia. Ephemerate, the missing card. Nope, okay. Get the Bash for 6. They Swords to Plowshares. And I hope they don't have Cathar Commando as the one mystery card in their hand. Plow works. Thalia's gone. If they rip the land for Yorion, it's just a 4/5 that can pick up Jete next turn. And I can hit them to 2. It can be 1 if I Thoughtseize. Alright, great. I just needed them to miss on that draw, and now it should be easy. I can Thoughtseize them and then also hard counter something. Thoughtseize you, that makes Tourach bigger. Okay. Glad we found that one. Outer Skull's gone. Opponent's at 1, and I have a hard counter in my hand. It's a tough time to play traditional Death and Taxes when the whole format is just as heavy as Legacy's ever been on protection from white effects. Or they could play Yorion, which is a white creature, and I could just attack. Okay, we got by the cool Ephemerate tech in game 1, and sideboard. I've always liked Grixis control versus Death and Taxes. You just have an insane amount of removal, and then having this gigantic boat that has protection from their deck these days is pretty exciting too. Glad we could convert. We remain undefeated. Let's go. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw for round 3 with the most Delvery hand we've seen. I'm going to keep it. This is what I meant by the baubles are part of my mana base. I would never keep a hand like this with Grixis control, but I'm in business. Ooh, Spelldancer. Shit. I would love to save these baubles. I'm going to use the first one to see if I'm going to draw a land next turn. And then I'll make a decision. Okay, I'm drawing a land next turn, which means I'm not going to bauble my opponent right now. Save that for the Dancer. Oil on layaway. Flooded Strand, Misty Rainforest. This is my kind of mana base. Let's see if I've been tricked. I have Death Shadow. You play Bant fetch lands and then fetch Watery Grave. I'm disgusted. Oh no, this card. This is a card that's also in my deck. I have Lightning Bolt. If they daze, I also have Lightning Bolt. Just going to try to clean it out on curve here. Okay, cool. Ace is the card I was saddest I couldn't find room for in my deck. All right, let's respond in kind here. Welcome to the new Legacy. Force of Will, pitching Murktide Regent. That's the respect my opponent has for Mercurial Spelldancer. That's cool. Bubble, and they're drawing Scalding Tarn. Found my next land. We're good to go there. Brainstorm. Death Shadow will be 3/3 if they drop it this turn. That's small enough to Lightning Bolt, unless they also Street Wraith. So now I've survived the early volley with the Spelldancers. Now I gotta figure out how to beat the giant half of their deck in Shadow and Murktide. Oh, there's Murktide. Mouth Out is in my deck. Edict is in my deck. Start with Brainstorm using the red source. Multiple EIs. Thoughtseize something I'm interested in at all. I won't need both these lands, and I think Lightning Bolt. But if I find another Bolt, I can pick off Murktide. I have life points to work with here. All right, I'm going to send an EI to the top, and I'm going to Thoughtseize my opponent just to make sure the runway's clear, and I don't have to deal with a second giant monster next turn. Force and Daze. Okay, I'll take the Force, leave you with Daze. And next turn, I'll work on this Murktide. Take 5 in the interim. They also can't reduce their life total with what they have, so if they draw Shadow, it's boltable. Ponder's always a good find when you're basically empty. They did not shuffle. Into Tourach. Filthy. Filthy stuff. There's an EI on top of my deck. Took one of my EIs. I get the other. EI on top with an EI, or with a land under it, right? Yeah, I think I do want that land, knowing that they have Daze. Archmage just charmed my hand, force will to the bottom, exile land, and fetch for Volcanic Island. I'm gonna brainstorm now. My deck does have Snuff Out in it. Him to Tourach. That's not super helpful. I'll put back land in him and pass the turn. Cool, calm, and collected in the face of 5/5 Murktide Regent. Moisturized, thriving. And 5/5 is so much smaller than 8/8. Insane. Okay, I can bolt that, but now that's two things I need to figure out how to deal with. I'm gonna fetch, or I can steal that with Archmage Charm. It's not really where I want to go with this turn, though. Drew Force of Will, Moto Bug, and I just gotta brainstorm and hope to draw Snuff Out, I guess, or Edict. All right, I drew Snuff Out. Finally, that puts me to 1. Well, this Force and this Ponder, or this Force and this Fetch land are both irrelevant. I can't use those anymore. I'm gonna Lightning Bolt the Shadow, which is a 3/3 at this current moment in time. I'm gonna Snuff Out the Murktide, going to 1 precious life, and then I'm gonna Ponder to get rid of these cards that are on top of my deck that are currently unplayable. Sucks to get rid of a Brainstorm, but I can't even use the shuffle effect that I'm looking at with it. Right, Tourach. So I steal the next Death Shadow. If I untap on a stable board one more time, bummer. A Brainstorm, good chance this gets rid of the Daze if they find a shuffle. I would love for them to put 2 back and then fetch, shock, play Shadow. That's what I want from my opponent right now. I did not want a Thoughtseize to happen. Definitely taking Archmage Charm. Yep, that's gone. And do you have Death Shadow? I'm running low on answers to that thing. Just took my best one. I'm gonna hope that they're stuck with a Murktide in their hand. But Reanimate, Targeting, Spelldancer. That card's unblockable. Well, need to draw a removal spell, right? Meow. Okay. GG's. 1 turn late on answering the Murktide. Hitotsugu consumes all. Brazen Borrower. Fury. Force of Will is medium. I do like all the cheap interaction. Like the Snuff Out. Probably want some number of Pyroblast. They have Spelldancer and Murktide. A Throng, sorry buddy. I'm gonna try to keep the Throng in wherever I can. Though it's very clearly not a card I want in this matchup. Brutality is actually good. It kills Spelldancer, and it can gain me life in precarious situations. Maybe I just zero out Force of Wills, play to the board. We're both discard decks. We're both Spelldancer decks. Either I don't need the second Fury, or I should have a Bauble here. Those are the 61st cards right now. I think it's Fury. Okay. Let's battle. Or actually, I think Fury's better than Tourach. Now let's battle. Almost forgot about that main deck Tourach. That is basically just a very expensive 2/1 in this matchup. My opponent just said in the chat that my channel is the reason they play Legacy. That's like the biggest compliment anyone could ever pay me, and I appreciate it. I'm glad that we're all here battling Legacy. On the play, Double Dancer, Snapkeep. And I'm not playing my Bauble. That's good for some oil. They Thoughtseize me, they're not taking the Bauble. That's in no danger of getting punished. Okay, we are on pace here for double Hymn to Tourach on turn 3. I don't expect the Daze Force of Will Snuff Out deck to let this Mercurial Spelldancer just go coast to coast. but the potential's here, is what I'm saying. And I am going to bobble now. There's always a reasonable argument to bobble on their turn against discard decks, but if they had Thoughtseize, they would have cast it. If they him to Tourach, I'd rather pad my hand with random shit, because my hand's good. If my hand was bad, I would have waited till their turn to bobble. A Watery Grave. Spelldancer. Okay, please let me do this. Don't have snuff out. I'll cry. I'll weep into my cereal. I'll start with a Ponder, see if they snuff. It looks like we got the F6 over there. I'll keep Brainstorm, and I'll make my attack. Oh, we're in there. Oh yeah, we've connected. Yes, I would like to use this ability. It's the whole reason I built this deck. Get Badlands, and put him to Tourach on the stack in multiple copies. Alright, bad news is they have 6 cards in hand. This doesn't get them Hellbent. We took 2 Death Shadows and a Murktide. Okay. If they can spell dance back into this, they're on board and going for it, but that was a big swing. A land, second Dancer. Okay. It would be difficult for their hand to be 2 spells from this position. A cantrip sets them up for next turn. Thoughtseize, sure. Have a look. The non-Hellbent Spelldancer is much better than the Hellbent one. I expect we'll lose Archmage Charm here. Fetching Badlands last turn might have been a punt, because if they didn't Thoughtseize me here, I actually would have been set up to Brainstorm pre-combat, then double Archmage Charm. Okay, they didn't take the Charm, which means that fetching Badlands last turn actually did mess me up. Ponder. I'll start with Brainstorm. This oils up my creature. Oh. Are you snuffy enough to hang? I'll put back Archmage Charm and Ponder. I'm going to Ponder again this turn. Attack with my fella. I am going to de-oilify it. And we're going to snuff. Welcome to the New World Order. And I'll Ponder now. It's not the highest value Ponder there's ever been, but it doesn't need to be. I meant to draw Ponder and have Archmage Charm for next turn in case they rip a discard spell, but I guess this is fine. There's Ponder. There's a land on top. I'll shuffle that away. Get Underground Sea. Get Scalding Tarn. This way, if I Ponder, I'm still holding up Archmage Charm throughout. EI. Not going to shuffle my library. And let's just keep going, huh? Keep adding to this Twitter screenshot Hall of Fame. All right, I'm going to draw 2 cards now. Pyroblast, happy to see that. Bobble oils up the Dancer. And bobble you. Murktide on top. Glad I have this Pyroblast. And there's Lightning Bolt, which is lethal. So I can Pyroblast this Murktide on the way down. If their hand is Daze, Flusterstorm, even Thoughtseize to clear the Pyroblast, Lightning Bolt's lethal for the double next turn. I don't even need to double it. It's just already 5. But I will double it. You better believe it. Murktide Regent. Slam the Pyroblast. Fuck Daze. In fact, I hope you do have it. All right, that was crazy. The only thing we didn't do was throng that game, but it's in the sideboard, so that was never going to happen. On the draw, Brutality does answer Spelldancer. I'll keep this one. Island Ponder, right? Got a Thoughtseize. Let's see what their feelings are about the thoughts that I have. Took my Ponder. They know my motto. Voidwalker's pretty cool. I don't care about Wasteland. I'm just going to play Underground Sea. If they Wasteland me again, they're not on Shadow yet. Wasteland's not Spelldancer. Flat. Alright, lost my Voidwalker there. Could have Brainstormed in response. All good. Yeah, Bobble. Do I want to take a look at their hand for spells? Do I want to save this removal? Okay, now my hand is bad, which is different than the previous game. I am going to duress them. Snuff out Fatal Push Murktide. Well, these are both removal spells. One of them costs mana. One of them costs life. Life is a resource. They can't currently Dash Shadow, and they can't reduce their life total. I'm going to take the Snuff out. And I'm gonna bobble on their turn because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can't draw an answer to Murktide anyway, so I might as well play around discard. Bobble you now. Hey, look at that. It's Thoughtseize. Unfortunately, Thoughtseize strips my Brainstorm, enables the next Death Shadow, and makes Murktide bigger. That was a really good draw, even if I did play around it as much as I could. Yeah, take my Brainstorm. I'll just draw Pyroblast, don't worry about it. Alright, 2 draws here to rule them all. Not exactly where I wanted to be. Consume. And I'll drop the Voidwalker at least. That'll eat up the Fatal Push. Consume, I'm gonna Sandbag to deal with Death Shadows. If we get the luxury to do that. Yeah, I forgot that some of the creatures in my deck are black when I left them with Fatal Push and took the Snuff out. Hey, not that Dothy Voidwalker helps in this situation anyway. Only 2 of my creatures are black. And the life total thing was relevant at the time. Oh, great. Now they have my Voidwalker. Time to bobble myself. Emergency meeting. Aggressive iteration. I think I will keep that around. And consuming all doesn't matter right now. Yeah, they've already resolved Reanimate. Why did I keep this EI? I have to rip. I'm taking 10. I'm dead on board even if I EI and okay, that was bad. I needed to shuffle or yeah, fetch. Try to spike Pyroblast right now for Murktide Regent. Yeah, I'm just dead on board. Even if this EI is the nuts, there is not an out for me here. I don't believe. Okay, yeah, now there's more creatures, for sure not. Okay, I guess I'll cast my Expressive Iteration and then concede. That's certainly not gonna help. You got me. GG's. I needed to shuffle away that EI. I was still way behind, but shuffling that away was absolutely necessary to even have a chance. GG's. On to the next round.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
On the play for round 4, this hand's great. I'm going to keep it. Unfortunately, because the Badlands in my hand already, this deck's not going to have Wasteland. Okay. I'm just going to play Badlands. I was saying I can't hold up Lightning Bolt and play around Wasteland and have Dothy Voidwalker on turn 2. Ballast. Sure, bolt you. Bolt you on the way out. Mercurial Spelldancer does provide some Chalice of the Void. Not insurance, but some cushioning. Because if you double a spell, yeah, when you copy a spell, it's not cast. So you can take 2 counters off the Spelldancer, double it up, and then the original's countered and the other isn't. I'm still going to lead on Voidwalker here because this is a combo deck, and they're going to have Helm of Awakening, or not Awakening, Helm of Obedience. And if I can him to Tourach, take it, and combo kill them, they're dead. Well, I'm dead now if they have it. Curse of Misfortunes. Oh, we're a curse deck. Great. That's so much more annoying. Hey, the Black Stompy decks are pretty reasonable, and then just putting curses in them is like, okay, whatever. I get 1 turn to do stuff here, and then I don't get to do stuff anymore. And I did not rip the spell I was looking for, the Hymn to Tourach, to try to outdo them here. So they get the curse that turns all my creatures into 1/1s, or they get the one that shrinks all my creatures, and then they get the one that turns them all into 1/1s, and regardless, it's a 2-turn lock. Yeah, I also forgot to fetch before Overwhelming Splendor came in, so this fetch land is locked. Good stuff. Oh, and are we hard casting another curse? Okay, that was just in here, sure. Okay, well, we got to see what the Stone Nuts from Mono Black Curses looks like. Always happy to demonstrate that. Okay, Brazen Borrower comes in. They're kind of a prison deck, and if they spend 5 mana on a thing and then you just bounce it, it's pretty embarrassing. Lightning Bolt, not a lot of text in the matchup. They are going to have Dothy Voidwalkers to supplement the Leyline of the Voids. I don't care about Fury that much. I want all my counter spells, of course. Sudden Edict doesn't really matter. I don't think Collective Brutality matters too. All their important cards are creatures, enchantments, and artifacts. And Collective Brutality only takes instants and sorceries. I'll add Tourach. I think that's fine. Meltdown can beat up the Chalices and the Chrome Moxen if I get time to do that. Consume does that too. Does it a lot slower. Nullrod turns off Helm, so changes how they have to actually win the game. Snuff Out can go. They're mono black. That's an easy one. This is 6 in, 5 out right now. I'm leaving Throng. If any deck will fail to function and let me do whatever I want and get a sweet Twitter screenshot, it's this one. All right, I'll cut a Meltdown. I have 1 Meltdown, 1 Consume, 1 Nullrod. That's 3 hits for that kind of thing. I don't think I need 4. Could shave Lightning Bolt. Oh, I just cut the wrong pile. I could shave Lightning Bolt to get Meltdown back in. Yeah, that might be better, actually. It's like Dothy Voidwalker versus their whole prison thing. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm doing. On the play. Much as I love Expressive Iteration, I mean, I am going to keep this hand, but I kind of wish it was different than it is. They have Leyline of the Void again. I'm going to fetch now so I don't get Dark Ritual Opposition Agented. I'm going to get Underground Sea, which casts Brainstorm and Hymn to Tourach. Swamp, Chrome Mox, exiling the Overwhelming Splendor. Alright, that's gone. Dark Ritual, my goodness. Arn the Great Creator. Alright, I will Brainstorm in response, try to hit Force of Will. Didn't hit Force, did find Bolt. If they minus Karn, I can kill it. Alright, let's party. Did minus Karn. And they went for Helm of Obedience. They have 3 cards in their hand, including the Helm. I'm going to fetch for Volcanic Island, cast Ponder off my Underground Sea. I'd really like to find Force of Will here. These aren't Force of Will. I have to shuffle this. Yeah, I need a Force. I got a Force, cool. Alright, took the shuffle, kill the Karn. Feeling much better now. With 3 cards now, after their draw step, they'll need to Dark Ritual or Soul Land their way into this Helm. There's the Dark Ritual. I'll let them commit multiple cards into this before I counter it. First pitching EI. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna Spell Dance. Yeah, just let the EIs fuel up the Spelldancer. This gets me a clock on board. Should be reaching the non-functional stage of the mono black game plan. First couple turns are the scariest ones. Blue-red, Aggressive Iteration, Meltdown to my hand, Underground Sea to the bottom, exile Volcanic Island, play Volcanic Island, cast Meltdown, which will take away one of their 2 mana sources. It also gets me oiled up, and I can double EI next turn. Okay, let's go. There's a Brainstorm. I could start with that. Why would I start with that? I can double EI. I'll start with that. Back with this. Yes, I would like to remove the oil counters. I would like to go completely bananas. Okay, they've had enough. They don't want to let me throng them. And I don't think anything changes about my deck here. I mean, Lightning Bolt can hit Karn, so that was kind of a miraculous spike to find that. Karn makes Bauble worse. Flusterstorm really only hits Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is kind of important. Yeah, with them having Karns in their deck and me having Nullrod in my deck, I guess I'll shave a Bauble. Alright, let's go. Yeah, I mean, let's go. If they turn 1 me, I'm in trouble. If they don't, I'm doing okay. I can kill an opposition agent if they wait. If they just main phase Dark Ritual Oppo, it locks my hand out. If they try to get cute and catch me slipping on my turn, I just won't play into it. They mulled to 6 and have a Leyline. 5-card hand to start. Oh, is this the thing I said? Don't do it. Play a Voidwalker. Chalice on 1. All right, I will take that over Opposition Agent. Because Flusterstorm works on under Chalice. Shit. I have to fetch Underground Sea if I want him to Tourach next turn, which I do. Well, now I don't even need to play around Dark Ritual because their deck plays Dark Ritual and Chalice of the Void in it. Thanks. Okay, I mean, I can clear that when I'm ready. I don't even have to play around the card I was worried around. Mercurial Spelldancer, I'll start there. If they're gonna like miss their land drop and lock out their own engine, I'm gonna add to the board. Saga, first time we're seeing that in the match. Wish I had some dress downs in to clear my Spelldancer. Why do I need dress downs? Meltdown is in my hand. Relax, dude. I'm gonna fetch Badlands and cast him to Tourach, putting them to Hellbent, Big Engineer, and Mire in Misery. Okay. Don't think I've ever seen that card. And I hope they do draw land and dump into the Saga. Yeah. There. Okay, so they get to make a construct, tutor for something. I sweep it all up with Meltdown. And then we're hanging out. I hope they draw a black card and tutor for Chrome Mox. That would be the nuts. They're like, well, I need a mana source to win this game. I better use Chrome Mox. What do we got? Is it some silly card or is it a normal card? It is the Chrome Mox. Let's go. Put that card in. Yeah. Leyline of the Void. They're over there celebrating. Wow, that's great. I drew a black card that I don't actually care about. This is perfect. I shall replace my mana source. What a plan. A red and a blue. I do have to X equals 1 to get above the Chalice. And goodbye to all your cards. I'll play my land, and Brazen Borrower can start the beating down. You even bounce the Leyline, and then they don't have half their combo in play anymore. I'm going to send the Leyline. Rid of it. Now we're driving. Time to be a tempo deck. I have a 3/1 flyer. My next land I can Prowl Throng. Play Borrower, leaving up red and blue for Fluster and Bolt. Start the clock. There's land number 6. Time to draw a Throng. Opponent's at 17. If they draw a Soul Land to replay, I'd rather Fluster this. I don't know how many targets for Flusterstorm I'm actually going to get. So if they Soul Land, replay Leyline, play Helm, land drop, I could die in 2 turns from this position. Not super likely, but not impossible. I'm not, like, done yet. I was about to say, once I draw Force of Will, I'm pretty well set, and then I drew it immediately. Would rather Throng than just tempo my opponent out here. Come on, Throng. Come on, Throng. Spelldancer, okay. I will attack with Borrower, then play Spelldancer. Spelldancer taps me out of Force of Will. I don't think I need it this turn, though. Yeah, I actually have them dead on board. I can bolt them, Meltdown, attack for 5, then double a bolt. Dark Ritual, uh-oh. Am I gonna lose right now? Curse of Misfortunes, okay. I don't think I care about that. Yeah, alright, well. This triggers in your upkeep. Okay. Next up, I will bolt you and oil up my Spelldancer. I don't even need to double the bolt. Disappointing. Throng. Shit. I'm gonna ponder and try to hit Throng here. Guys, I will shuffle my library. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna bolt my opponent. Disappointing. And I'll make my land drop just in case I need to force. I can't imagine why. But here's 2 lightning bolts for your face, where I only need 1. That was our chance to Throng. Disappointing. It just didn't show up. All the pieces were in place. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw, in the final round, Positive Records Lock, playing for 4-1. Obviously, I'm shipping the Snowlander, but there's the Throng I was looking for at the end of last game. Showing up now, a wise guy. I'll keep this one, and bottom arm. This hand does a lot on 1 mana. Can't be afraid of 1-landers with your 18 land deck. I played against this person recently. I recognize their name. I'm going to seize them, figure out what's going on. I want to do it off Underground Sea and bobble first for full information. Get the next card and the whole hand. Oh, a Terminus on top. Good to know about that one. Seize you. White Plume Adventurer in the mix here with a bunch of Force of Wills. A Portent. Yeah, I'm taking White Plume Adventurer easily and hope there's a land in my top 2 cards. Okay, there was a land in my top 2 cards. Don't worry, we're good. They're likely to Portent themselves here. Oh, they didn't do anything. Okay. Portent does not work the same way that Ponder does as far as hitting land drops goes. I'm going to bad lands because I know they're holding Prismatic Ending, and I'd prefer the Spelldancer to stick around for a while. There's the ending. See if they found a land drop. They did not. Okay. Yeah, that's why I thought they would port in last turn. Now let's go fish on this Force of Will. I think you got to do it. Yep, Force pitching Force. Just another Hymn to Tourach in my deck. And I'll pass the turn. Is it port in time yet? Brainstorm. Okay, that's a good one to find. Probably regretting killing the Spelldancer now, or forcing the Spelldancer, because now they can reset Terminus and Portent to flip it onto Plains. Collective Brutality. I'm going to EI, start there. Red, blue, leaving up Underground Sea. Most of the spells I want to cast this turn are black, like this Hymn to Tourach. Hymn to Tourach to my hand, Ponder on the bottom. Exile, Blue to Delta, play Delta, and get another C. And Splat. Hope they didn't hide a White Plume Adventure on top of the deck with Brainstorm. Prismatic Ending important, hit the graveyard. Okay, if they have White Plume Adventure right now, we're never winning this game. If they don't, we're in good shape. Okay. Just hit their land drop and passed. Time to EI again. Leaving up double black again. Awkward. I can get their hand empty. Okay, EI to hand, Ponder to the bottom, and I'll hit me again. I only get 1 card off this, but if I had found Thoughtseize, I would have cast it, so we take these. And that was not the Terminus. They are drawing the Terminus now, which I guess I shouldn't have X'd it out, because we're about to see an involuntary pause in their draw step. There it is. And they just drew the Terminus. And we know that because they haven't shuffled since their Brainstorm. Now it's time to unload. Okay, blue, red. I'm looking for a creature this time. Force of Will to hand, Sudden Edict on the bottom. Exile, Bauble. Play the Bauble. I guess I should have Brainstormed first in case I hit land Spelldancer. Then that Bauble could have oiled it up. Handful of removal. A Plow to go with the Terminus. Disappointing. I will Brainstorm now. Voidwalker. I'm not going to play Voidwalker, but I am glad it's here. I'm going to put Lightning Bolt Voidwalker on top of my deck, and then play my land and pass. I can Brutality, take the Plow, and then resolve a threat next turn. And as Plow and Terminus, got to dance around what they're doing. I don't actually want Lightning Bolt. I'm going to shuffle here, get another Volcanic Island. I'd love to find Tourach. Oh my god! We found Tourach. Okay, this changes the plan. Every little shuffle matters. I could have just range around that Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's a good spell, right? Nope. Tourach's in my deck somewhere. I salute you, opponent. About Tourach. Okay, 2 white removal spells hit the graveyard. Big, thick Tourach hits the board. Force of Will backing it all up. Back to basics. Good thing I have this Force of Will. My god. Force pitching Ponder. I think Brainstorm's better here. I don't expect Collective Brutality to be part of this game. And Brainstorm. Good stuff. One of the lands in Collective Brutality can go away. And now I'm just in Metal to the Metal and hope they don't draw Terminus. Put them on a very short clock. There was no pause in the draw step. They didn't draw Terminus. And now I have a decision to make, and I've already made it, which is slam Brazen Borrower to just push damage while I know the getting's good, or hang back. But I think if I get Terminus here, I'm already dead. With Lightning Bolt in hand, a board full of creatures with power, this is where I want to be. Opponent's at 5. I have to Terminus right now. I guess Supreme Verdict also works. But you generally don't have both of those in your deck. You could, though. Nothing's stopping you. Okay. All right. That was a study in what discard does to blue-white control decks, and I'm usually on the wrong side of that. Pyroblast coming in, that Back to Basics was scary, Tourach's coming in, Brazen Borrower, of course, and I think that's where I want to be. You can cut some Lightning Bolts. Flusterstorm actually seems reasonable. Sudden Edict, not necessary. Fury's medium, but if they have Mentor, or we saw, oh no. It was so long ago that I almost forgot. This is an initiative deck. I need my dress downs. And Lightning Bolting, White Plume Adventure is good, but snuffing it out is better. Lightning Bolt can also go face, and I don't expect that many creatures out of their deck. Thoughtseize him, Voidwalker, all of these difficult to block creatures. Collect Brutality actually kind of sucks. I am going to leave in Throng. It's party time. I think I'd rather have Lightning Bolt than Fury and one of the baubles. 7 out, 7 in. Respecting the initiative as much as I'm capable of. Both as a deck and as a human. Okay, force blue card and unblockable creatures. Let's do it. 3 unblockable creatures. And I can fight over the first initiative move. Island Ponder. Respect it. I do love their deck. Everything that's going on over there I'm a fan of. Triumph of St. Catherine isn't on Magic Online yet, but their deck with Triumphs instead of White Plume Adventurers is a deck that I've been kicking around in my head for a while. The second island, he did not shuffle the Ponder. Pyroblast is good. The Voidwalker is also good. I gotta get on this board here. I like the Voidwalker because it means they can't go straight into initiative, because I'll just take it. Spelldancer is my only blue card for force, or else I would have preferred to lead on that one. Tourach I want value out of. This matchup's going to take a while. I'll get to 4 lands. And we saw what that looked like last game. Blue to Delta. And access white if they want to now. Actual him to Tourach with Pyroblast backup. Send it through. I'm doing this pre-combat because if something that I want to cast goes into the void, if they have like Court of Cunning or some shit, Court of Grace, I don't know. Court of Courts. All Breacher in response. Okay. I can kill that at will. And they lost Force of Negation and Terminus. I'm going to get a Volcanic Island and Lightning Bolt here. Bolt the Hull Breacher. And I'm just going to pass because I can cast Hull Breacher now. Their whole deck is about drawing cards. Good spot for me to be in. I can Force a Negation, a Planeswalker, or I could Hull Breacher in response to a cantrip. Wow, okay. Well, I guess I'm locked in. It's Hull Breacher time. And I can play this whenever. I don't have to, like, cast it now. I could just flash it in the end step. Alright, well. They're going to give me a Ponder. I expect a Force here. Interesting. Or they're just desperate and have to make the play that they have, which is look at the top 3 cards, give me a treasure. Did not shuffle. And I am now treasured up. The treasure cast Tourach, getting them hellbent. My god. This is disgusting, but I'm here for it. Their top card is Terminus. Then they lose to the Force of Will. Counterspell White Plume Adventure hit the graveyard. They did have the White Plume, but me having the Shadow Creature the turn before that shut down that whole line. I love when a plan comes together. Terminus me. Oh, they didn't Terminus me. Just made a land drop. Gonna die pretty quick here. Back for 7. Spelldancer does take a turn off the clock. I'm not worried about Terminus. I'm only worried about Supreme Verdict, which would have had to randomly be the second card on top of their deck last turn. Okay, we got the GGs. Nice. A 4-1. Strong performance with this deck. Burrow decks are at an all-time low right now because they're just super clunky against the initiative. And the reason him to Tourach and Thoughtseize fell out of the format is because Uro kind of beats them up. And without Uro, him to Tourach is just messed up. This was a fun little disruptive mid-range deck. We got to double every spell we wanted to, except for Notorious Throng, which I never drew at a time I could cast. Really heartbreaking. If you're serious about this archetype, cut the Throng for a basic island and move forward from there. There's a lot of, and probably Collective Brutality is another flex slot. Sudden Edict is a flex slot. Now that we have Snuff Outs in the deck, we might not need Edict anymore. Edict was really important to Grixis control a year ago, but Snuff Out's position in the metagame is really big. Normally a control deck doesn't want to lose 4 life for its removal spell, but the format is aggressive enough that it's worth the cost. Fury is a flex slot. This deck does have a lot of removal in it. Maybe you just don't need that. You could add more Voidwalkers, add another Tourach to the main, another Brazen Borrower to the main. Could round out your set of expressive iterations. I could only play 3 because I was playing all these fun ofs. But yeah, the bones are here. King of the Depths, I imagine you will be happy with this. This is your kind of nonsense. And we did a lot of the things we signed up to do with it. To a positive record, no less. Mercurial Spelldancer is insane. It is not Dreadhorde Arcanist, but it's way better than Ledger Shredder. I think it's closer to Arcanist than Shredder, but that's after playing 5 matches with it, so tiny sample size in my brain, though I don't think it's going to take the community long to figure out exactly what the range is on this thing. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, check out the poker coaching, check out all that stuff in the video description that supports the channel, and I'll see you next time.